there, fellow marketers. Professor Walters here, and today we're going to talk about digital marketing maturity. And when we talk about digital marketing maturity, we're kind of looking at is how much does a firm use digital marketing, and how much is it really integrated to their overall marketing, activities and duties, and just how important digital marketing is for their overall business strategy. Because companies are at different levels. Some they're like, hey, we have a website, and other ones are, oh, we talk to you on Twitter and you buy on our website and we deliver it by hand to your door. There's a lot of different levels when it comes to digital marketing maturity, and so I want to go through some of these levels today so you have an idea of where does your company stand, or where does a firm stand in terms of digital maturity or digital marketing maturity, so you can say is what's the next step we need to take. So when we look at digital marketing maturity, there's kind of two factors I want to look at. One we look at is the digital maturity that a firm has. Basically, how much does digital marketing play in the overall role of the business? Is it something important? Do they really use it, or is it kind of an afterthought, right? But also, with that digital marketing they use, what's the strategic value of it? I mean, how important is this role of digital marketing to the firm's overall business? And so when we kind of combine these things together, that kind of helps you differentiate the different levels of digital marketing maturity. And the first kind of phase, I would say, the first step in this model is what we call the initiate phase. You're the initiate. You're new. We don't know what's going on, so everyone has to tell us what's happening. Maybe we know something, but we're not doing too much. And this is the first step to being online. This is when you're just getting the basics. Like, you have a website. Yay! And that's great. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm serious. It's great having that website. And on the website, it really is just an informational presence. Maybe you have the hours your stores are open. Here's where we are located. Have a nice day. You're not doing any social interaction. You're not saying, email me now and let's talk. No, it's just basic information. So if people want to know when is Bob's Burgers opened, they look up Bob's Burgers online. It says open from 10 until 2. Okay, now I know, thanks. And you might have some basic information on your products or services, like, oh, here's our menu. So we have burgers and fries and soda. But it's really, really, really basic things. And your key performance indicators in this is basically just tracking how many people are coming to your website. I mean, if you do want to make an email list, you could start doing that. But at this point, a lot of people aren't even that advanced. So it could happen here, but you might starting your email list just to collect potential clients. But basically what you're really looking for in your KPIs is just, are people going to our website? Are more people going to our website month over month or not? Just to see if people are actually checking it out. Now, the second stage, now we're going to move into a little bit of social media integration. This is the radiate phase. So now you're going to be radiating out more contacts, more digital marketing, just a little here and a little there. And so you might have your Facebook page or your Twitter page or your Instagram or your YouTube. You have these. And what you start to do is really create user-centered content. So you're answering maybe the questions that your customers might have in a video. Oh, we've seen that a lot of people want to know is, where should they stay when they go to Yellowstone? And you answer their questions in those videos. But the thing is in this radiate phase, it's more still just you radiating out. You're not necessarily answering all the questions coming back in, okay? So you're just starting to have, we got our website, we got some stuff, we're making some content for that, and we've got some social media making content, but we're making the content. We think it might be what people want or that, but really it's very little kind of interaction. I mean, you might comment here and there, but it's not really a vital part of this phase, okay? So Phase 1, initiate, we have a website, yay. Phase 2, hey, we're starting to have social media as well. Phase 3, now we're starting to do is align, and that's what's called the align phase. We're starting to align our digital marketing efforts with our business efforts, which means those social media posts, they're going to be related to those products we're trying to sell. It's like, hey, we need to sell a lot more Big Macs this month. Well, we're not just going to have our normal TV ad saying, go buy a Big Mac. We're also going to have social media stuff going out there. We're going to have, hey, Travis Scott, could you tell people you like our Big Macs too, to get them to buy? We're going to be doing some stuff to make content out there that's starting to align our digital and our traditional business. Because the thing is, in those earlier phases, a lot of times companies are just having a website to have a website, or they have social media to have social media. They're not using it to its full advantage. In this align phase, we're starting to combine them. We're making sure that the digital marketing people and the traditional marketing people and the business people and the strategy people, we're all starting to get on the same page here. We're aligning. And so what we'll end up doing is we might start developing some online sales opportunities, developing more leads out there to send people, oh, if you want to learn how to buy our new product, click here, and that might send them to the sales people, right? Because really what we're trying to do is really increase our digital footprint in order to help grow our business, grow our revenue in different ways. And that's why when you look at your key performance indicators, they're really going to be linked to these overall company goals, right? Because if our goal is we want to sell more Big Macs, we need to track Big Mac sales. That's what's going to matter. Yeah, maybe more people come to McDonald's because of our social media stuff, but if the whole idea is to get Big Macs sold, we need to be tracking Big Macs. Now, you can track other analytics as well to see is there any other benefits from what we're doing, but you really got to start tracking what you want to get done. Because here's the thing. If I track the number of workouts I do, I'll track the number of workouts I do so I'll work out. But is that my real goal? No, my real goal is to lose weight, so I need to track my weight, right? It's the same thing when you're looking at tracking your analytics for your digital marketing. Make sure you're tracking what you want to happen, not the side effects, but is it really getting these things done? Now, you could see there's side effects, which is great, but what's your main goal? You need to make sure your KPIs deal with that. Because if you're trying to sell more widgets, you need to be tracking how many widgets are sold. Now, once we move past this align phase, we're starting to work together. Now we want to optimize, and that is the next phase, is optimizing, or optimize phase. And here, we're using our digital marketing to really strengthen the engagement and our interaction with our clients. We're now really being more robust. We're really trying to build that community feeling. Because remember, social media, we want to build a community so people want to do business with us. They want to share more information with us. They want to be our friends so we can work together, and they're going to buy from them. Because don't you want to help out your buddy's business more than some random person's business? Of course. And so that's what we're really trying to build, this community spirit. And so here in this optimized phase, our objectives really, we're going to be testing out a lot of different things. We're going to be what's called doing like A/B testing. Is it better if we put the picture first and then the text, or the text then the picture? What gets people to do things? Or you might do multivariate testing, where we have one version where it's a video and then the text. Another one it's a picture then the text. And the other one's just text. Which one works best? We're going to be trying these things out to optimize which thing works best. That's why if you ever watch any of these YouTube help videos, they'll say, look, you got to test out and see what works for you. What traditionally works with YouTube videos is have the hook, give them a reason to watch, tell them what they're going to watch, and then have your cut and then start the video. So it's like, it's like we're watching any of those prank videos that you see the reaction, like, oh, you got him. Oh, I want to see what happens. That's their hook to get them in. They've tested that. And so we start doing this so we can make the best marketing outreach possible. And the thing is, when we start doing this, we're starting to optimize. We also need to optimize our clients. This is when we start to really build profiles or online profiles of our customers to see the things they typically buy. What do they usually like to buy? You might see this on Amazon where like, hey, here's products we recommend to you because they based on the things you've searched before and the things you've bought before, that they're like, hey, this might be something that's interesting for you. Because what we're doing is we're really trying to learn the customer's journey. How are they making their decisions? But also, how can we make that journey, that customer journey for them easier, quicker, so they're buying faster? And that's why you really start to see a lot more targeted ads. You're like, hey, that ad seems like it's perfect for me. Yes, because they've built a portfolio around you, a customer profile, so they can say, this is the typical thing that someone like this person likes. Let's try to sell it to them. And so in this optimized phase, our key performance indicators really start to focus a lot on our overall strategic objectives. What is it the business want to get done? Yeah, it was, Big Macs, but also maybe we're expanding more. It's not just Big Mac sales, but also we improve the overall, brand image of McDonald's. Like, let's really go bigger here. And so we start tracking that. So, in a way, it's kind of similar to some of the KPIs of the one before, but it's just more of a strategic nature. And once we get, past this optimized phase, we've optimized things for everybody. Now let's make it so simple we can automate it. And that moves us into the next phase, automate phase. And here what we do is we use automation to really make it easier for us to link off the online clients profile to the offline client profile, so we can have one person, we can merge them together. Because I know I have my relationship with my usual stores, and they have a relationship with them when they're online, but if they can connect, that can make it a lot easier. Because they know that, oh, Mark Walters on this online profile, same as the Mark Walters that goes in the store, maybe we can find some connections here. Let's make it automate. So we see that Mark that goes in the store really likes his Culver's Butterburger cheese, and Mark the profile here just looks at the flavors of the week and the custard. Maybe we can send out a coupon digitally. Hey Mark, double Butterburger cheese on sale today. Ooh, and that can get me to do something offline. And so we're trying to like merge these two profiles, because what we want to do is we want to increase sales, but also we want to really cut down on the time it takes to sell or to close that sale. And what you see in some of the ways is, instead of have what's called a multi-channel interactions with our clients, we have what's called cross-channel interactions. So instead of just having me talk on Twitter and we just do that, and then if I call someone, I talk to somebody else, now we have it, hey, I might start the conversation on Twitter, and then we'll switch it to making a phone call, and then I'll go to the website to buy, and it's all the same conversation. That's that cross-platform communication we start to see here, because we're connecting the online and the offline customer. Now, obviously, if you're doing this, it's going to cost a lot more money. Why? Well, because you're having to do a lot more research. You have to do a lot more technology stuff, lots more ISIT. It's going to cost more. That's why most companies get to about that optimized phase and kind of stop there. Okay, but you can go farther. Automation, you got a bigger company, more IT budget. We can really marketing budget. We can really start to really intertwine the online and offline customer. Because if we do this, we can make it a much more personalized adventure or personalized journey for our customers. Because I know I love flying with Delta, and I will tweet at them about something, and then actually here's how it works. I search for a flight online, and then I say something I like, and then I'll tweet to them about it, and then they'll tweet back to me, and they're like, well, if you want to call, we can talk about it. And I'll call and I'll buy my ticket that way. There's different ways we can do it, but we're all going like this, and it's really made it a much more like, when I talk to Delta, it's always like, hey, Team Twitter Delta, how y'all doing? And that's one thing I'm really sad about with the pandemic, is now their Twitter team isn't the same, because now it gets automated. Call this number, because we're so overwhelmed. I feel sorry for my Twitter buddies. Love you guys at Delta. My Twitter buddies at Delta. Hope you're doing okay. But that's one of the things, is I had this like really great relationship, and it draws us in, okay? And if we're looking at the key performance indicator for this automate phase, what we're going to think about is, we're looking at obviously revenue generated by these different activities we do. So is it paying off that we're talking to them on Twitter, then sending them to the website, or is it better to talk to them on Twitter and then have them call us, or we'll call them? We start testing these things out. Remember the A/B testing, multivariate testing, what gets people to actually buy that ticket, to buy that product, to buy that service? We're tracking all that stuff, okay? And so we think about these. And also, with this, obviously lead generation becomes a really big thing, because we're trying to integrate it to get people to buy, to cut down on the sales time. So the lead generation is going to be a big KPI in this, automate phase. Now, the last two kind of phases I want to talk about, I'm going to kind of condense them down, because they're so advanced that in terms of the pricing and the cost to do this, it might not necessarily be like worth it, unless you're like maybe in a B2B world where you really need to know is, who am I going to be selling to? Who's going to be making that $20 billion deal? I need to know everything I can about them. And so in this next stage, it's called the transform phase, okay? And here you're going fully online and offline. Well, I should say this. You're going to go to get a full understanding of your customer and their online profile, but also their offline profile, okay? So you're going to try to collect as much information as you can about these people. So it's not just looking at their LinkedIn profile. You're also going to look, was there anything in the newspaper? What can I find out about the company? Like, you're asking people, hey, you know this person? What do you think about them? You're collecting as much as you can. And this is when it gets a little creepy, right? Because you're collecting all this information. It's like, sometimes they call it cancer level research, that the marketers sometimes know that the people have cancer before they do by all the questions they have online, And so it gets kind of freaky sometimes. Ever wonder when you're like, wait, is my phone listening to me? Sometimes you feel like this could be the phase, right? But really, our objectives here is really just to build a better customer profile, so we can really help them with the next step. It's like, hey, you've been asking these questions, so this could be something you might want to look into. But also we could look at this and say, hey, with all this information, we can help them make better choices. That's the whole idea behind it as a marketer. And so what ends up happening here in this transform phase is we have all these different kind of cross-channel goals and cross-channel objectives and this integration and all this kind of stuff to really see us like, look, are our customer databases working? Is it helping us build stuff? Is it worth this cost? We really check and make sure that, hey, if we do all these things, is it worth the effort? Is it worth the time and effort? And for some companies, they find out when we collect that information, that much information, if we lose that information, we might lose those customers forever, because it's like, why did you know all that? Remember when Target had to admit that they lost people's PIN numbers? I'm like, wait a minute. I could understand my credit card getting lost, but why did you save my PIN number? You got to think about these things. I'm not saying they were doing the transform phase, but it's one of those things when you're looking at digital marketing and digital market maturity. The more mature you get, the more information you're collecting, and data privacy and data collection and data protection is going to become a much more important thing, because you're collecting so much more data with it. And that's why if you're going to be in these more advanced phases, you need data analytics people out the wazoo, because you need to have people that can collect that data, warehouse that data, mine into that data, and find those trends to see what do we need to be doing next. And then the last phase is what we call lifetime customers. Really, it's all about focusing all this to build people that are going to be with us forever. But that's so advanced, I'm not even going to go into it here. Just know that there's some more phases to go along with it. Now, the thing is, though, why am I going through all these different steps? Like, why does digital marketing maturity matter? Well, the reason why it matters is because we really need to understand where our customer, where our organization sits in terms of our digital maturity. Because we need to figure out is, what do we need to be focused on next? What are the key performance indicators that are going to be right for us at this time? Because here's the thing. So if you think about it in terms of like new YouTube channels, right? They're like, oh, I want to get a 1 million view video. I see that one video that goes viral and I'll be fine. I'm like, look, that is not how it works. You got to build up a lot of videos over time. And then if people like you, they can watch multiple videos, because you're not going to get, one video with 1 million views unless it's like, oh, there's a rocket coming through or a bear attack, which I have to be careful here in Idaho, because there are black bears around here where we are, and grizzlies as well. So I'm worried. But you have to really think about these things, and so you got to be careful. And so realize that if you're starting someplace, if you're in that first phase, you're in that initiate phase, don't compare yourself to those ones higher, farther along. I mean, new YouTube channels, don't compare yourself to, PewDiePie or T-Series or something like that, or whoever. Look, you're just starting out. Have the key performance, like for you, the key performance indicator. Hey, did I get 10 subscribers this month? Did I get 100 subscribers this month? For businesses, for the lower, in terms of social media, did we get 10 likes on that post? Did we get people that commented positively on the pictures of our food? These are the things you want to be looking at. So make sure you're really using the key performance indicators that relate to your kind of where you are. And that's why it's important to know where you are. Because if you're going to be doing benchmarking or something like that, you don't want to benchmark against things that don't relate to you. Also, when we're looking at this digital marketing maturity, knowing the different levels we're at, we need to know the kind of information we need to collect on our customers in order to really have a kind of a higher degree of personalization at that level. So how much information we need to collect if we want to go to the next level. But also, it really helps us decide and really figure out what can be done. What can we do online? What should we be doing online? I mean, what's too far? What's just far enough? So we can see, so look, I don't want to know everything about my clients because I feel that's too much, but I do need to be able to reach out to them so I can answer their questions and make videos that work out for them. So I need to have some kind of interaction out here, right? Maybe I need to be in phase 2 or phase 3 in order to really do the best for my clients, or in the case for a YouTube channel, for our viewers, okay? And so some things to kind of wrap up. I know this is kind of a long video, but it's an important video to really understand like where you are, so you can see this is where I am today, this is where we want to be eventually, what are the steps along the way, what do we need to focus on, and so when we look at this, what can we do to be more mature, what do we need to focus on, we really need to think about is how are we integrating social media into our traditional media, right? Or our social media marketing into our traditional marketing. Is it a standalone part of our business, or is it integrated into our business? We have to think about these things, because for small businesses, sometimes it's hard. It's like, look, I'm so busy running my business. I have blinders on. I don't see the social media because all I can see is my product. Sometimes you're like, hey, you get your kid to do it for you. You hire an intern or a new person. You take care of this, and you focus on the business. You just focus on that social media. I focus on my business. you got to see is like, look, we need to open up like, hey, you know what? You're part of the business. And so that marketing maturity, digital marketing maturity is something we need to think about. And we're integrating these things because you don't want that your business, your traditional business is saying one thing, but your social media is saying something else. You want to have everybody kind of going the same direction. And another thing is when you're looking at your digital marketing maturity, you have to look at your content. I mean, are you really creating value with the content we have? Our website, does it create value? Well, you know what? If your website has the times you're open and your products, that does create value because it's answering my question. When are you open today? This is what we're thinking about. So that is a way of creating value. And so we think about what kind of value creation do we need to do at each different level. And so that's why I just really want to kind of say is make sure you're really doing a good job of integrating that social media marketing and your traditional marketing together to really promote that digital marketing maturity. So it's really helping your business grow. Because honestly, by putting these together and having them work together, it can really make your business more successful. So I hope this helps you know a bit more about digital marketing maturity. What level do you think your company's at? Let us know in the comments section below, and maybe we can talk more about it, or other people can chat about it, and we can figure it out. So I wish you all the best and good luck in your business, and have a great day. Bye from here in Idaho.